Hello friends, welcome back to the video series in Oracle PL SQL Programming. In this video, we would work on table. As we know, database is a collection of objects and table is one of the object in database. Practically, table is the most important part of the database as table is storing the data and acts the major role in database. In this video, we would work on the first DDL command create, and as we know, create is used to create the table in a database. Now, what is the syntax of create? The create table, then the table name, then the starting parenthesis, then the column 1 with the data type, a comma must be there, then the second column with the data type, the comma must be there, then the column 3 data type with the comma there at the end, and how many columns you use there would be no problem, but the last column with the data type must have no comma, then the end of the parenthesis and the semicolon to execute the create statement. Now, any table can be classified in the data dictionary and user tables. Data dictionary is basically storing the metadata of Oracle database. So, the core information of the database would be stored into the data dictionary. So, the system tables are data dictionary and the user tables are created by the user. If user has the administrative privilege, always remember we cannot change or modify anything in the data dictionary. Now, one another thing we have to remember, every table must have a valid name. So when user create a table, the name of the table must be proper and valid. Means every table name must start with a letter, not any numeric digit. Table name must not contain any special character except underscore. Reserved keyword of Oracle must not be used to be the name of the table. Users must have the permission to create table and storage area. Users other than the admin have no permission to create table and also to store data. So admin has to give the permission for both table creation and storage to any normal user. Table will be created in user schema. If there are n number of users other than admin must give different permissions to the users. So which user is there to work each and every job would be under this user schema. Such as Sumon, myself, when creating any table, I can use and access the table directly. But any other user when accessing this table has to access with Sumon.table name. The default keyword is used to set default value for the column. When the user is creating a table, some columns are created with the respective data types. When creating the table with respective data types, default keyword is used to provide the default value. Suppose a column date of joining is there in the table, and when entering data, the current date would be there. We can use default keyword for that. Let's proceed to some hands-on experience with the create statement, and for that we have to go to the SQL Plus. in command prompt. Let's navigate to the SQL Plus. As you know, we have to enter the username, and that is system, and providing the password, that is password here. So already we have connected to the Oracle database. And now at first we are clearing the screen, and for that we can use the statement CLSCR. Now you can use the semicolon after that or not, there would be no problem. So I am using the semicolon and press enter. So at that moment the clear screen is here. To create table, suppose I am creating a table and the name of the table is employee. So here CREATE, create, then table. The words are not case sensitive, so you may use the small create or table, anything, or you can use the capital letter. So create table, and I am giving the name of the table as employee. Then press enter. So the open parenthesis would be there, or the left parenthesis. Press enter. Then I am giving the column name as EMP ID for the employee ID. Let EMP ID, and giving the data type of that particular column EMP ID as number. There must be a comma because that is not the last column or attribute of the table employee. So next I am giving another one column named as first name, and for that I am using the data type as varchar2 with the size suppose 20, comma, then another column name suppose last name, and same data type as varchar has been used here with the same size, another comma. Next one suppose email ID, and for that column I am once again using the varchar2 as the data type with size suppose 50. As we know, the data type varchar also can contain the alphanumeric data or value. So email ID with the data type varchar2 would be a better choice. Next one, suppose gender, and here I am using the data type as char with the size only 1. Suppose only single characters such as M or F would be used here. Next one, suppose contact number, and here I am using the data type as char, and that is with the size 10. Now we have to remember, in the case of gender column, if we allocate 10 and input 5 characters, the rest spaces are conserved as spaces. So we have used the 1. Suppose the next one column we are using as date of join, and for that we are using the data type as date with the default keyword, and that is sys date. We can use the default keyword, and default is used with the proper expression such as the sysdate. Sysdate is the function which returns the current date. And yet now we are not in the last column of the employee table, so we are using the comma here. Suppose at that moment we are using the last column and giving as department ID, and for that we are using the data type as number, as it is the last column of the employee table or any table. There must be no comma, then the end of the parenthesis and a semicolon to end the statement. Press enter. Already we have the message that table is created. Now if we want to see the structure of the table created, we can use the describe command, or in short we can use the DESC and the name of the table, that is employee here, and we are ending it with the semicolon and press enter. So the describe employee or the DESC employee, that statement shows the structure of the table employee. The DESC is also applicable for the data dictionary. We can check here, we have the EMP, that column has the type number. We have the first name with the data type varchar2, and it is also have the same data type. This is how we can create a table.